Hey friends, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. And for anyone that's new here, my name is Megan and I'm so glad that you came by today. This is my weekly garden tour and harvest video that I love to share every week. I live in growing zone 8B, so I still have quite a bit growing from the summer garden while also planting and growing the fall garden, and I cannot wait to share with you all. Before we go in the backyard garden and start harvesting, because I have done a lot of cleanup and I'm going to be doing quite a bit of planting this week, I do want to share a few things with you. So I shared this last week, but I just want to give another little reminder that as you're wrapping up your summer garden or starting your fall garden, to go out there with your planner. This is my planner that I shared with you last week in my little clipboard that I like to use out here. But take your planner out, or your phone or tablet or whatever it is that you use, and just take a few notes of what worked, what didn't work, so that next year when you're planning for your spring or summer garden, you can look back, and then that way it'll make planning so much easier. I also want to share my carrot varieties with you again. I showed this the last video, but there was one I accidentally forgot to show you all. So I'm just going to share again, just in case someone is new to my channel, because now is the time, depending on your zone, to start carrot seeds for a fall harvest. But the first one is St. Valerie. I got this from Azure. And then Glow Stick Sunrise Mix. I've never tried this one before, but so this is new for me. And then Deep Purple F1. I learned about this, like I said last week, from Roots and Refuge. Jess had harvested one of these carrots back in the spring, summertime, and it was so beautiful that I said I need to try this myself. And then the next one is Romance F1. So this one I really have had great success with, which is why I'm growing it again. And I want to say the next one, which is the Caravel F1, I had good success with this as well. And then the Napoli F1, I've always had really good success with them. So more than likely this will always be in my carrot seeds that I'm going to be growing pretty much probably every season, because these just do so good for me. And then this is the one I forgot last year, the last video is the Scarlet Nantes. These actually did very good for me in the bed when I grew them on the side of the bed. So this is the one I forgot to share with you all. So this I'll be adding to it as well. Now let's take a look at the seed starts. I actually ended up buying a tray of starts from the nursery when I had to go pick up some soil, because as I shared last week, some of my starts just didn't do well in the garage, and I couldn't get them out here because we had some rabbit issues, and I had to wait for this shelving unit to be built. And so not only did I obviously start some seeds because I shared that last week, but I did buy some starts so that I can start planting some this week. All right, so here is my lovely shelving unit of seedlings. I'm really happy that I bought this shelving unit, you guys. I love that it rolls so I can move it around. But here's the tray of starts that I bought. So I bought a bunch of cabbages. These are the Fast Vantage. So I've actually never tried this variety, which is another reason why I bought it, because I wanted to try this variety. And then I also bought Georgia collards. So I have 1/2 is collards and then 1/2 is cabbages. And while I actually do have, you can see some of my starts are looking pretty good and they're starting to grow really nicely. A lot of that Swiss chard up there. I just wanted to get some cabbage planted like now. So I just decided to get these. This was 20 bucks for 36 cells, and actually one had 2, so 37. And if you break it down, it ends up being, I think, about 54 cents per plant. Yes, I had to do the math again just to make sure I had my math right, but they end up being 54 cents per plant. So I figured, you know what, it's worth buying these and planting them now, and then I could have my other starts for backups or even for winter. Because if you watched my videos in the winter time, and I know most people aren't gardening in the winter, especially if you're in a really cold zone, but I did buy a bunch of frost covers for my beds. Now I'm not sure if some of the beds I plan to just let it rest for the winter and put some cover crops on them just to give some more, just to feed more nutrition into the soil, or if I'm going to do a few beds with frost covers. I haven't decided yet, but I do like to grow food, or or at least try to grow as much as I can during the winter as well. I also started a new tray of lettuce and a tray of snap peas because I did plant those out. But do you all remember the tray of lettuce that was wild? So I ended up, and I'll insert a video after I'm done talking in a few clips, I ended up cutting off the tops, you guys, and using it for baby lettuce. And let me tell you something, it definitely gave me the idea to grow baby lettuce in my garage during the winter time. So that might be something that I experiment with during the winter, just so that I can have a continuous amount of greens during the cold season. All right, so here is that beautiful tray of lettuce that I had, and it definitely is not good for planting. So here's what I'm going to do. Like I mentioned last week on the garden tour, I'm just going to I'm going to chop off the tops and just make sorry, my hands are super dry. I've been working really hard in the backyard, but I'm just going to use this as baby lettuce and make kind of like a small little side salad for me and the family, because I don't like anything going to waste. It's just, unfortunately, I didn't get it planted in time because I couldn't get it outside to harden off in time due to a whole bunch of stuff. So anyways, I just want to tell you what I am doing, and then I'll show you a quick little picture of our side salad. All right, I had to quickly show you all the lettuce that I cut off. I will show a little picture of our side salad, but look at how much lettuce came from that one tray. And I tried to cut just the cleaner parts of the lettuce, and I left, you know, the icky parts so that I wouldn't have to rifle through, because that's such a pain in the butt. But you guys, look at this. This is giving me an idea to just do a tray of lettuce, just to be able to cut off baby lettuce and make little salads. I could even see me doing this in the winter time in the garage. So I just had to quickly show you. I will quickly share a picture of our side salad. I also grabbed some onions. These are actually the Walla Wallas. I didn't expect these to get big, but I had leftovers and they didn't go bad, you guys. So this is a good onions to use, little mini ones for whatever. And then I accidentally grabbed one of the yuccamas out on accident. So it's a little baby one. I'll use it somehow, but I just wanted to show these to you as well. I also did buy a sage plant as well as the thyme, and even though in my herbs down there, I'll show you real quick, they're doing really good. I just wanted to make sure that I had a backup plant because I have had kind of a hard time growing thyme. It looks really good, but I've seen other people grow thyme and it is a massive bush. So I think I'm gonna probably plant that one in a very big pot. And the same with sage. I feel like I'm doing pretty good as well, but I think that start that I bought, I'm going to be putting in a large pot as well. Friends, I just had to quickly show you, look at the green stalks. I am so happy with how they're producing. And I cannot wait to plant the garlic over here in these four. And then look at the potatoes. They're absolutely doing so good in there. And then, by the way, I actually ended up getting 3 more green stalks for the backyard garden. It's the terracotta, the blackberry, which is purple, and the stunning blue, the blueberry color. And my goal is to plant 2 of them garlic and 1 onion in the springtime. And I cannot wait to plant them back there because they do really good on the driveway, but I want to test some green stalks in the backyard. Normally, you guys, I always start with the peppers, but because this side gets light more than all the way on the other side of the garden, I want to show you what I did first, and then we will harvest the peppers last. But I do want to quickly show you the potatoes. So look at how much they've grown in the bags. They're doing really good, you guys. Now, I'm not sure if I will do a separate harvest video of these potatoes in the bags or if I'll just harvest them when they're ready during a garden tour. I'm not really sure. But either way, so far, everything is looking beautiful. All right, so we're on this side of the garden, and I want to start here because, like I said, it gets darker on this side, and then you can see because the sun sets on the other side of the garden, and I want to show you all the work that I have been doing. By the way, shout out to my hubby. oh, okay, here we go. He put another string light right over here. It's really pretty. I'm hoping at some point we can put string lights over the entire garden, but because of my tomato plants and the bamboo sticks, it got really tall. But yeah, we'll have to switch some stuff up. We have a lot of great ideas for the garden that I'm hoping we can implement in the next summer. Anyways, so here's the trellis, you guys. I finally cleaned up all of the cherry tomatoes, and you need to go up and away. So this is actually, hold on. Okay. That's actually my asparagus plant. I originally had these on the driveway, but they just get really bushy. So I said, you know what? I have all this space back here, and while I would at some point love to get this grown into the ground, I did establish this in the very beginning of my garden journey, and so I want to keep them in the bag, and I brought them back here just to clean up the driveway a bit. And then that's actually my elderberry plant, which that really needs to be put in the ground as well, but I get really busy with the garden, so I haven't put a whole lot of attention on this. I'm hoping next year we can figure out how to put this in the ground and do something different. But in the meantime, I want to show you this. So I finally cleaned out all the cherry tomatoes, and I put in all of those snap peas. Now what I did was I put one in each of the back bags, which I believe those are 2 gallon. These are 2 gallon or 3 gallon. Of course, the label came off. I believe that's a 2 gallon, you guys, and maybe a 3 gallon. I do know that these are 5 gallons. So what I did with these is I put, most of them have 3 snap peas. I think maybe a couple have 2 down here. And then what I did was I put lettuce in here because I did have some other starts. Now this is a new variety. This is the Landis winter lettuce that I got from Baker's Creek, but each bag, the larger bag, got a lettuce. Some have 2, some have 1. You can see there's a little tiny one right here. And so my hope is to grow the snap peas going up this beautiful trellis that my husband put in, and then having heads of lettuce in the middle of the bags. And then these bags that I have going along the ground, catching all the water because my land, the way it slopes, that was my hope, was that the bags at the bottom would catch all the water. But I finally did take all of the cucumbers out, and I just cleaned everything up. Now, I actually did leave some of the onions that I had planted over the summer. I'm just leaving them there for now to see what happens, because I was experimenting with the onions, even though summertime is not the time to grow them. And there's actually some onions in some of the wood beds over there that hopefully I can harvest with you all, because they stayed in there all summer. But I did end up planting some snap peas in these 2. Now last tour, these were already cleaned out, so I was able to plant some snap peas. I don't know what I'm going to put in the middle yet, you guys. I'm not 100% sure. I'll probably grab one of my starts down below and just stick something in there. And then these, I'm not 100% sure yet either. Definitely the snap peas, because I started some more and they have the trellises, and then I'll put something right in the middle. But I just wanted to show you I finally cleaned this up, and we're gonna plant some fall stuff in here. And these zinnias, I'm actually just letting them chill here. I do plan to grab seed from them, because that's how you save seeds. So let me show you. All right, so my camera doesn't want to focus, but basically when it dries out like this, let me show you. Do you see all that? So that is actually seed, and you can save that for next year. More than likely what I'm going to do is just sprinkle this somewhere, but I do plan to save seed from these bags as much as possible, because this was an absolutely stunning color this year. I absolutely love these. Now, I don't know if I'll keep it here next to the stairs. I probably won't. I'm probably not even going to put them in the bags again, because they were very messy. This is why I have them against the stairs, because they were flopping over. So I need to figure out a way to prop these up better. I'll probably think of something next year, but I will say if you had zinnias, definitely save seed. Here are those 3 green bags that I told you. Now these are great for potatoes because they're tall, but I stuck a bunch of green beans in here, and I think what I may do is, if you saw those green bean starts, I'm probably going to fill in some more green beans here. I'm not for sure yet. See, that's the thing with me. I always say, I'll say one thing and then I'll totally change my mind, but I have harvested from these quite a bit. Let me see, I have more here. I think there might still actually be more, because sometimes it happens with green beans, you guys. It looks like it's done and then they'll start producing again. You guys, here are those 2 bags that had a bunch of peppers that I was just experimenting with. Let me see if there's any to harvest. Here's one. I know we harvested a few before, but look at the flowers on here. So this was a total experiment. I wasn't expecting anything from these, because I literally stuck, I think, like 12 plants in here, and it actually gave me some peppers. Now, I don't know if I'll do this again next year. Probably not, but at least I know that it can grow peppers if I ever did have to put a whole bunch in a bag. Yeah, there's a lot of buds on here, so I'm probably gonna let these stay in the bag for a while and plant something in there, I don't know, maybe winter time or something. Now these 2 little bags have green beans in them, and look at, there's green beans right there, so I'm gonna grab those real quick. Something I want to share with you guys, look at, there's a pepper right here. I love to experiment and try to grow as many things as I can in a very small space, and this right here is a 1-gallon grow bag, and I want to show you, look at all of the green bean buds on there. That's going to produce quite a bit in a 1-gallon grow bag. Now, I probably could maybe even try putting 2, one here and one over there. Maybe, maybe not, I'm not really sure. But I just want to show you that even in a gallon grow bag, you can grow a bush green bean. I actually planted some in those bags that we had harvested the parsley, the rooted parsley. I stuck a green bean in each one. If you remember the 4 bags here, I did not clean these up. These are my bush Roma tomatoes, because look, you guys, I'm getting more tomatoes and there's a lot of green growth on the top. So here's my thinking, because a lot of these beds, you can see they're really, the tomato plants are ridiculously tall. I don't plan to harvest any today, but see, look at, do you see that tomato up there? Let me see, right there. Now, mind you, these plants are ridiculously tall, and I'm gonna have to get on a ladder. I still have to harvest Kentucky Wonders over there as well with the tomatoes in my other 2 beds. But I'm starting to think that maybe next year I might do more bush tomatoes. I'm not really sure. This is where I'm gonna be taking notes in my journal and write down the things that I have liked and the things that I have not liked. But I just wanted to show you, so there's a tomato. You can, I don't know if you can see all the buds that are on that plant that are going to start to produce. And then even right here, look at those. So I am not going to tear this out, because we are still reaching 80-degree days. And granted, the evenings are in the 60s. This is going to stay like this for me for a little while. You can see right here too. So I don't plan to touch these. And I've also decided to keep these triangle type trellises in the bags instead of taking them out. The other thing that's been nice is that the tomato plant will bend down, and now I'm actually able to harvest a few. Now, I will say there's been some bug pressure for sure, but for the most part, I'm still getting tomatoes, you guys. You see that? Look at, I love it. So I'm just not going to rip these out, you guys. I'm definitely keeping all of the tomato plants. You can see, look at all that. So I do need to get in there again and get the Kentucky Wonders. See, look at that. They're coming down eye level. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You guys, look at all those green beans. Oh, wow. Look at those. We got these. And then, look at, we got more in there. Oh my goodness. And then look at, you see the tomato? So this is why I don't want to take these down, but this is also why I'm showing you everything that I have taken apart. So let's go take a look at that. I'm sorry, friends, I can't help myself. Look at all of the tomatoes. There's more in there too. You probably can't see them. I think what I'm going to do, because my brain is just going right now, what I'm probably going to do is later on in the week, I will go in here again and harvest Kentucky Wonders and just add it to this video, because I don't have the time to do it right now and I wasn't planning on it. I really wanted to just focus on telling you everything I've been doing, all the cleaning up that I've been doing, and then harvest more of those peppers over there. But I haven't looked in here in a few days and I did not realize how many tomatoes and green beans were in there. So I will harvest those later and add them to the video. All right, friends, while I'm adding this in the weekly garden tour and harvest, it is late evening because it's the only time I'm able to get out here, but I do have my stepladder. You can see how massively tall this has gotten, but I just want to add this in here and I will show you all of the Kentucky wonders at the very end. I just wanted to quickly show you, and hopefully you can see it because I know it's evening time, but look at all those green beans. Look at them, they're everywhere. Look at those. And I'm seeing a ton of tomato flowers. So I think we are going to have a nice little second harvest of tomatoes and hopefully a continual harvest of green beans. All right, you guys, look at all that I harvested out of the Kentucky Wonder green beans. I'm very happy with what we harvested. There's probably more out there, but being that it was evening time, as you saw, I can only see so much. But I saw a ton of buds out there. So I think, like I said, we're going to be harvesting quite a bit in the weeks to come. So I'm very, very happy with this. Plus we have a lot of the bush green beans as well. And then you guys, I also got tomatoes. So there was a ton of flowers, a ton of buds. I really feel like we're getting a second wind of tomato, all summer stuff, right? Peppers are growing, tomatoes are growing, the green beans are growing. So I'm very, very happy to see this. And then I do save seed. So for instance, these are obviously very dry and there was some that was quite dry and you can see this one is definitely dry and done. But some of them that look like this, for instance, this is obviously not edible. What I'll do is I will take this off and I'll leave them in my garage to dry out. And it has worked for me as far as saving seed. So I did collect as much as I can while harvesting the green beans. And so I have them right here and I have them also labeled because I will forget. I also had I had gotten weeks ago though, the red bush green beans, the purple dove. And then this is just a mix. I really don't know what these go to. So I just put mix here. And then of course, some dill right here. I love saving dill seed. It is so easy. It smells so good. So I just wanted to quickly show you that. But overall, you guys, I am really happy with the Kentucky Wonders. I also forgot to show you the dahlia. It accidentally fell off, so I wasn't trying to harvest it, but pick it. But look at how beautiful this is. Dahlias by far are one of my favorite flowers. It's just, they're so beautiful. This color purple is one of my favorite. I grew this last year, which is why I grew it again this year. So I didn't want to forget to show you this beautiful, gorgeous dahlia. Now back to what I've been doing to get ready for the fall garden. I'm going to start over here. Now I still have a cantaloupe plant in here and then one right here. I am more than likely, even though you see some new growth, I am more than likely going to probably pull this out. I'm not sure. I'm talking out loud now. I don't know. We'll see. It just depends. If I have a bunch of starts that need to get planted out, I might just start ripping this out and put some of those cabbage starts that I bought. But the green beans are doing really good. Look at, there's more buds that are growing. I love bush green beans, and there's one to harvest right here. So these are the Antigua green beans. I bought a gigantic bag, I want to say like 3 years ago maybe, from, it was either Johnny's or Territorial Seed, I'm forgetting now. And these have been really good. That's actually what's in the majority of all those bags in the back. Now what I did do when I pulled this one out is I planted some green beans. I had a little baby one right here. I might have to plant in here, but I put 5 in this bag, and then I did pull that one out, so I'll probably put some green beans in there or cabbage, I'm not sure. And then I did plant some green beans in here, and I took one of the teepees from the back pallet and I stuck it in here. I really like these little bamboos and making teepees out of them, and so I stuck a whole bunch of bush green beans in here. And there's more green beans here too. And you'll have to excuse the noise in the back. We have our neighbors outside enjoying the beautiful weather because it is so nice outside right now. And there's green beans back here too. Let's grab these off. I love sticking green beans everywhere, you guys. It's one of my favorite things to grow because it's just so hands-off. It's quick and easy. And I love that the roots if you leave them in the soil, fixes nitrogen back into the soil. All right, so let's talk about these bags and those 2 pallets. All right, I stopped talking because I literally ran into a cobweb. So I'm just going to take that off. You probably can't see it on camera, but I felt it. And I really just need like a stick in front of me to make sure I don't run into any cobwebs. Anyways, so what I did was I cleaned up both of these pallets, and this is where I plan to plant my carrots. Now, I'm not sure if I'll do, you know, carrot, cabbage, carrot, or switch it up or make them all carrots. I haven't decided that yet. I would like to grow some cabbages in here as well. So I haven't figured out those details, but I did finally clean these out. Now here's what I'm going to probably do is I will more than likely, or maybe I won't, I'm not really sure. I might take some black cow compost and just add it in here and top it off with new straw. Or I might just leave it as it is and just top off some fresh straw, because what I did was I took the old straw that was in here, because it is a great compost, and I just mixed it in with the soil to kind of loosen up the soil. I do that sometimes when I'm refreshing bags, and that has just worked for me when I did that. Now the very large bags back here, I also clean them up as well, but I did leave 3 bags of tomato plants because they are still producing, as well as this one. And then I did leave Tulsi holy basil in here because it is just growing very beautifully. In fact, I do need to harvest them because I need to make some tea. Now, as far as what I'm going to be putting in here, I'm not really sure. I may put a cabbage in the middle and then put snap peas on these parts of the trellis while planting maybe a radish in between. I'm not really sure. I love to play around with growing as many things as I can in bags because I really enjoy growing out of grow bags. So I haven't made up my mind yet. All I know is that I needed to start cleaning things up so I can start putting things in. But at the same time, there was a few that's still producing. You can see there's flowers on this one. And I believe this tomato this one is Marion, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's still producing. And then these Martha F1s are still producing. So Martha F1, here's the thing with Martha F1. Now, obviously you can't save the seed because it is an F1. But in my experience, these have still produced literally all the way up until the frost, which is why I did not get rid of them. You can see there's some right here too. And they're just really great tomatoes. So I did not pull these out. I believe this is a Martha F1 as well. So all 3 of these are Martha F1s, and I did not pull them out for that reason. Now here's what I will say. What I might do is still plant a cabbage right in the middle so that can start to get established. And then when this is ready to be tossed out, I will just cut it at the soil line and just toss out the top part of the plant. I have done that before, and that's what I might do this time as well. And then these 2 pallets back here, I did not take out these bush plum tomatoes because you can see the tops, they're growing more tomatoes. Now again, I may come back here and say, you know what, we're done, we're going to take these out and we need to get rid of them, and I could possibly start planting some more things. But you can see there's flowers up there. Hopefully you can see those up there. And then the basil is still growing. So I'm not pulling anything out of these 2 pallets yet. And then you guys, the green beans are doing really good. Let's take a look at them. You guys, look at all of the buds. Look at these, they're so exciting. Oh my gosh, look at all of those buds. I could not be more excited. We're gonna have so many green beans to harvest. And then look at all that dill. So right here, this is seed that you can save. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to save this seed or if I'm just going to sprinkle it throughout the garden because I love volunteer plants. But you guys, this is a lot. I think there might be some. Oh, hello spider. You guys, can you see that? Oh my goodness. Probably not. Let me see if I can. All right, you can't see it. There's a spider right there and I would have walked right into it. Okay, how can I'm gonna clean this up, hold on. All right, so I don't see any down here, but I think there might be some green beans down there, and then we got to hit up all those peppers over there before it gets too dark on us. But I did want to tell you that I did plant the 3 Napa cabbages. There's one. I'm not going to take them off, but I put these Dollar Tree trash cans over to protect them. I don't know if you can see that in there, but they're doing so good. So I got those planted, and I'm hoping because of where we're at, and this gets most of the shade, but still some sun, that these will grow beautifully back here. But the other thing, oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to show you are these Italian dandelions that are growing right here. I can't remember, I think I did throw some seed here, or it might have been from earlier in the springtime, but look at how beautiful these are. I'm not going to harvest these right now, but those are growing really good back here. So I'm really happy with the pallet system back here because, like I said, due to all the trees up here, it does allow for a little bit of shading, but it still gets some sun. So it does very well with plants like these. All right, I think there's actually, by the way, that's my lavender. It's growing really good in this bag, but I think we do actually have a couple that we can harvest. Oh, look at how beautiful these are. I'm telling you guys, bush green beans are one of the best veggies to grow. You guys, look at all those green beans. There's a lot everywhere. All right, I harvested as much as I could from these 3, actually these 2 pallets, and I feel like there's still quite a bit more, but you guys, look at all those green beans. That's a lot, and we're going to be harvesting quite a bit back here for the next couple weeks, but I'm really happy that we're finally harvesting some back here. And I do want to give an update on the sweet potatoes. They're doing really good back here. Now, they're not ready for harvest. If you can see, some of them are starting to poke through. I want to keep those covered so they don't turn green on me because they're not quite ready to harvest yet, but they are doing very good, and I'm hoping that this will give me a pretty good harvest. I also want to share with this trellising system. Now, I still haven't planted anything in here, and I did share this on a previous garden tour. I left a couple of the tomato plants here, and they're kind of just going on the trellis, and I'm already starting to get a couple of tomatoes. So I'm just going to let those continue to grow a bit, and then I'll fill in all the buckets that are empty. I still do have the jicama in here, and I did plant some lettuce over here too, you guys. So I did get some in the buckets to try them out in the buckets. I don't think I've ever grown lettuce in the buckets yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. And then, you guys, how could I have forgotten this? So I took all of the watermelons out. I replenished these bags. I think I put a little bit of compost in here, and then I put snap peas right here to climb up on this trellis system that my husband built for me. And then I did plant the lettuce, and I want to say this is the Landis lettuce that I had planted in the other trellis as well, and I put one in each bag to see how they do. So I'm really excited about these growing right here against this trellis.
All right, friends. Well, speaking of watermelons, I think this was a watermelon that I harvested and shared last week on the garden tour video. And it is small, but I am really happy overall with the watermelon harvest that I have this year compared to all the previous years. Definitely have gotten better, and I'm hoping next year they'll be even bigger. But what I did was, of course, scooped all the seeds out so I can save them. I chopped up as much of the watermelon as possible. And then what I ended up doing was just making some watermelon smoothies because my husband and I really enjoyed the last one that we made. So I just went ahead and made it again. And I'm looking forward to making this one more time with another watermelon that I harvested recently. And do you all remember that little cantaloupe that had, you can see those little bug bites in there? It was really small, but I did end up cutting it open and eating only the good parts. You can see there's some bug bites right there. And of course, I saved some seed.
All right, we need to get these peppers out of here before I completely lose lighting. But I did also want to quickly mention, I did massive cleanup in these 2 beds. So it doesn't look like much because it looks like a whole bunch of strings. But a lot of the cucumbers up here, they still actually have some buds. Now, this is another reason I want to point this out, and I don't want to forget to tell you, because you can see some of it's growing right here. And I know the lighting over here is not the best, but I do see some cucumber babies up here, and this is why I really like the Piccolini and the Poniente F1, because what ends up happening is sometimes, by the way, that's the cherry tomatoes that are growing out of the ground that you see right here. But sometimes what I noticed with these F1 cucumbers is they still produce cucumbers for me well into the fall time. And so that's why I left a couple of them in here. Now I'm probably more than likely going to cut out the rest of the other ones over here that I thought maybe would do good. And I'll probably put some snap peas in here. But I just wanted to tell you that because these were one of the things that I heavily cleaned during the week. All right, let's get some peppers, you guys. So these bags have some peppers to harvest. The Jimmy Nardellos are starting to turn red, so we're gonna grab some of those. And then you guys, look at all these peppers. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm a bit surprised because I'm not out here all the time. And you know what these peppers look like? These look like the mystery peppers that I grew last year that I could not know. I didn't know what variety it was. That's what they look like to me. Huh. Okay, they're growing a lot too, just like last year. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to harvest a whole bunch of peppers, and then I'll show you what we get at the end. Now, fun thing is a lot of the mushroom peppers are starting to turn color for me, which I'm really excited to see. I've been waiting for these to blush. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some of these as well. You guys, look at the Tabasco peppers. So some of them are turning color. I think I'm gonna take at least a few of these. Oh, that's exciting, you guys. Look at, they're absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the red cayennes are growing really good too, you guys. There's so many on here. There are so many cayennes. Look at all those cayennes. Do you see them? Sorry, that bug is so loud. All right, friends, so there's actually a lot of peppers that are budding in these two beds. I'm glad I saved them for last because there wasn't a ton to harvest, but I just saw this beautiful bell pepper, actually a couple of them growing. And so I think in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna be harvesting a consistent amount of peppers every week, which is my goal with my backyard garden. So if you're new to my channel, this is my goal with my backyard garden, which is why I do garden tours and harvest every week, because I'm treating my backyard almost like a grocery store where I go and harvest my produce every week. Sometimes there's an abundance and so I will preserve it, but for the most part, that is my goal, is to just go right in my backyard and pretty much harvest my produce for the week. So let's go ahead and see what we harvested today. All right, so here are all the peppers. Now, I didn't bring out my divider like I normally do because I kind of know which one's hot and which one is not since I've been harvesting all summer, but these are my non-hot peppers, and then these right here are my hot peppers. And then we did get a couple of tomatoes, and then the reason I put these green beans over here is these are my Kentucky Wonders. They kind of have a little bit of a different texture, so I like to keep them separate from the bush green beans. But now let's go ahead and see the bush green beans that we harvested. You guys, I love this. This makes me so happy. And I know that we're gonna be harvesting even more in the weeks to come, probably all the way up until the frost. Green beans are one of my favorite plants to grow. One of my favorite veggies to eat and make in the kitchen for dinners. So very happy with this, and I cannot wait to harvest more. So friends, I just want to encourage you right now, whether you are closing up your summer garden or you're starting the fall or starting the fall, I really want to continue to encourage you to stay the course, because there is so many rewards when it comes to gardening right in your backyard or growing as much of your own food as possible. I know for me and my family, it has been a huge blessing for us in so many ways. Well, friends, I greatly appreciate every single one of you, and I really look forward to seeing you next week. And always remember, friends, be encouraged, stay encouraged, and always stay inspired. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.